Had something go kind of weird with my internet there on the first one, so sorry about that. But welcome to the textual analysis of Sunset Boulevard. First thing I'm going to say is whether you're watching this in later on, or if you're watching it right now, go ahead and open a new tab or get a new device or whatever you can if you want to. You don't have to, but look up Sunset Boulevard lyrics. That's going to be a big help on this, I think. So look up Sunset Boulevard lyrics. The first lyric should be, "Sure, I came out here to make my name." Those should be the first lyrics that pop up. So look that up if you want to participate in this, or if you just want to listen and hang out. That's fine too. But let me know in the live chat if you want to do this and you have it pulled up. Let me know. So basically what we're going to do here is we are going to take a look at the song itself. And I do this, if you've seen any of my covers, this is the same process that I do with all those, but on a much more grand scale because we're dealing with a whole musical. And I try to process through not just what the needs of the song are, but also what are the lyrics? How do I sing it? How do I actually approach it technically while still staying in character? I've talked before about, I think there are three approaches that you can have in musical theater. One of those is to be a dancer that sings and acts. One is to be a singer that acts and dances. I tend to treat myself as an actor that sings and dances. So my primary concern always is the character. So that's how we're going to kind of approach this. We're going to look at the actual lyrics. I'll show you some of the music. I actually have the music. So we'll talk through some of the needs of the music and how that might inform our choices. And who knows, maybe what some of you bring up might actually make its way into my performance, which we open Thursday, if you don't know. Good afternoon, Jem Loves Coffee from the East Coast. I'll be back there, next week? 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. I'll be in Rhode Island for like a day, and then I start filming somewhere else on the East Coast. So that'll be fun. But anyway, go ahead and look those lyrics up whenever you get a chance, and let me know when you're there. So I'll give you some context in the meantime before we get there. So this is the beginning of Act 2. So we have a whole Act 1 that comes before this. I'm really not spoiling anything. This movie's been out for 70 years, and the musical follows the plot of the movie. So if you don't want a spoiler on Sunset Boulevard, sorry, here they come. So my character Joe is a really down on his luck screenwriter who is really trying to prove that he can make it in the industry. He's from Ohio, just like me, and he's having a really tough go of it. And he kind of stumbles into the house through a series of unfortunate events. He kind of stumbles into the property of a silent film star named Norma Desmond, who's rich and still thinks she's quite famous, even though her star has kind of faded. And he realizes that he can use her and use her connections to try to make his way. What he does not necessarily realize right off the bat is that she can also use him. She has a script she wants his help writing, and the two of them kind of become really entangled in this web with each other of manipulation, but also, if you ask me, of genuine appreciation and maybe even bordering on love. And the drama that comes out of that as Joe also begins falling for a fellow writer of his that he's helping with a script. So Joe, at the end of Act 1, has decided that he is going to leave Norma. He's going to leave the house, and he does so only to find out that she has harmed herself in his absence. And so he decides to go back. For better or worse, he feels guilty and decides to go back. And they sort of make up. And that's the end of Act 1. So Act 2, this is where we find ourselves, in Sunset Boulevard. And again, spoilers, but the movie's been out for a really long time. You can listen to the cast recording. That's not anywhere near the biggest spoiler of the show. So I'm just going to assume that you've had the opportunity to pull up the lyrics. If you're just now joining, Google on a different device or on a different tab or whatever you want to search it on, look up Sunset Boulevard lyrics, because we're going to talk through them. But the scene opens, I'm sitting in a wicker chair, exactly like the ones that I'm sitting in, and it's now summer. So several months have passed in the show. We're starting Act 2, and I'm sitting there. And I think the first thing we need to realize is that Joe is dealing with a lot of emotions and probably has never had to deal with emotions like this before. He's never quite felt this conflicted, this unsure of himself. And so I think there's some anger is too simple a word. I think there's a little bit of frustration, but ultimately he feels cornered. He feels scared and unsure. And for someone that's constantly been in control of himself and to a degree of what's happening to him, this is a really scary place for him to be. So that's where we're starting. Again, if you have the lyrics pulled up for Sunset Boulevard, he says, "Sure, I came out here to make my name, wanted my pool," he's sitting by the pool, "my dose of fame, wanted my parking space at Warner's." Now, again, we have to think about context. In 1950, when the show takes place, there aren't a lot of studios, so Warner Bros. If you called it Warner's, everyone in Hollywood would have known you meant Warner Bros. Studios. Wanted my parking space at Warner's, but after a year, a one-room hell, a Murphy bed, a rancid smell, wallpaper peeling at the corners. So this is really important because we don't actually see where Joe is living at all in the show. So when I start off here, what I'm telling the audience is, I'm in this mansion. I'm sitting by a pool. Look where I am. Where did I come from? And the music goes something like, "Sure, I came out here to make my name, wanted my pool, my dose of fame, wanted my parking space at Warner's." And it's really important that Joe goes, "Sure, I came out here to make my name, wanted my pool, my dose of fame." Fame is lower. He's starting to look down on fame. He wants a degree of fame, but now he's going, "Oh, look what it did for her. What's it gonna do for me? My dose of fame, wanted my parking space at Warner's, but after a year, a one-room hell." And I think it's important that we have this da 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 da. But now we have one-room hell, which is very militaristic, very sharp, right? So we have a one-room hell, a Murphy bed, a rancid smell. Rancid's a really gross, evocative word, right? So we have a rancid smell, wallpaper peeling at the corners. So literally the walls are peeling away as he's in this place. And now he's in a mansion. So think about that. If you're a down-on-your-luck writer and all of a sudden you find yourself with someone who at one point was one of the world's most famous people, living with them, working on things with them, they're in love with you, you're by the pool, and that's where you came from, literally 6 months ago. It's enough to make you question whether or not you should give that up, right? So again, let me know in the comments if you do have the lyrics pulling up, because I don't just want to talk at you, I want to get your thoughts on this too. But that gets us into our first chorus, where he says, "Sunset Boulevard, twisting Boulevard." Twisting. That this road has twisted for him. It's not where he thought it was going. I don't know if you can hear that, but somebody's like scraping their bumper or something on the road as they're driving by. So Sunset Boulevard, twisting Boulevard, secretive and rich, right? He's in a mansion, secretive and rich, a little scary. It's not what he expected. He's always been in control of things. Oh, it's secretive and it's rich, but it's also a little scary. So, if I'm approaching that on how I'm going to sing it, I have to go, "Sunset Boulevard, twisting Boulevard, secretive and rich." And rich is a really nice, if any of you are watching this and you know Dimash, he kind of does that, he does that with a lot of his notes. Secretive and rich, a little scary. It's a nice moment for a crescendo. It's a little bit of intrigue with how scary it is. A little scary, right? And then he says, "Sunset Boulevard, tempting Boulevard." Tempting. And this is a key word in my understanding of Joe Gillis as a character. Because if he says Sunset Boulevard, oh, we know what Sunset Boulevard is. It's this famous road in LA. It's Hollywood. It's the dream. It's where everyone wants to end up. Tempting. It lures you in. Tempting Boulevard. And the next line that we have is, "waiting there to swallow the unwary." Now at this point, I use a lot of mental images when I'm memorizing things, right? So if I'm singing, if I'm going back to the part where I say, "But after a year, a one-room hell, a Murphy bed, a rancid smell." I'm literally picturing this small, gross room with a terrible bed, and it smells bad. I can smell it. I create these images for myself. I'm not sure what this room that I'm seeing is based on, but I have to be able to see it. I have to see it in my eyes, right? Right? Catching up on comments here, Chiari PTC Songbird. Your grandma gave you a CD with it when you were little. The lyrics are imprinted on your brain. Good. The lyrics are brilliant. I love this musical. I have fallen head over heels in love with it. So I'm glad you know it. You don't even need to look it up. Here I am holding the script, and I opened the thing on Thursday. And Jem, yes, it's so easy to say what you would do until you're there, and I think that's what Joe falls in with. And he also thinks he's the one that's manipulating. And once he finds out that he's actually being manipulated too, that he's in over his head, there's a moment of panic for him. It's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I am. I don't have any control over this. And I think that is a moment that we can all relate to. And I think, Jem, you've touched on something really important with acting is we can't say necessarily what we would do, but we can relate situations and create memories, right? So if I see a twisting boulevard, I literally see the road twisting. I see curves in the road. I see danger. But there's also an allure to that twisting road. There's an allure to the danger. It's a little tempting, a little scary, a little tempting. Waiting there to swallow the unwary. If you're driving on a twisty road and you're unwary, you're not aware of yourself, you could be swallowed up by the earth. You could fall off the twisting road, right? Maple Carpet's okay if you're not familiar with the musical. That's part of why we're here. So if you want to, you can Google Sunset Boulevard lyrics and kind of follow along. We're in the first chorus. Actually, ending the first chorus. So it's waiting there to swallow the unwary. And then we have a beat of 4. And in this moment, I think Joe draws into himself. So he's kind of defending his own things. Oh, it's twisting. I didn't see what was happening. How much can I control this? But now he's thinking about his dreams. He's thinking about, sure, I came out here to make my name. I wanted a pool. I wanted my dose of fame. I wanted a parking space at Warner's. So where does he go next with his next verse? He says, dreams are not enough to win a war. Out here, they're always keeping score. And of course, when you're talking about a song, you have to find the rhymes, right? Dreams are not enough to win a war. Out here, they're always keeping score. Beneath the tan, the battle rages. Right? So you have to rhyme war with score, which tells you how you're going to say it. I can't say war, which isn't how I would say it anyway, but I can't say war, I can't say score. I have to say war, score. I have to hit those the same way. Right? It's like saying the word one when you're singing, like O-N-E, like the number. You usually say it W-O-N, one. It's a more musical sound. So, you have to incorporate these things. Dreams are not enough. And it's a quarter note on enough. So it's dreams are not enough to win a war. So it's enough to win a war. Dreams and war are an interesting juxtaposition of ideas and context and words, right? So he's dealing with his dreams, and for me, Joe looks down at the pool. That's where I see him going. Dreams. He's dreamed of having this pool. Dreams are not enough to win a war. I look up on that. Because I think he's realizing he was in a war. He didn't realize it. But this whole time he's been in a war against the studios, against the industry, against the script he's trying to write, against himself. And now he's literally in a war of minds. He's in a war for control of himself. And he's losing that war. Dreams are not enough to win a war. Out here, they're always keeping score. And now we start to see him step out of LA. We start to see the guy that he was. A guy that grew up in Dayton, Ohio. A guy that's not from LA. He says, beneath their tan, the battle rages. And I think there's a great deal of cynicism and of not arrogance, but looking down on them. Beneath their tan, the battle rages. It's this idea that the tan is fake. There's something underneath the tan. They're trying to look good, but underneath looking good, the battle rages. And what's interesting then is we draw a line back to Act 1 when he's getting dressed by Manfred, who works at a local high-end fashion place, who says, this will complement his tan, regarding Joe. So Joe sees himself in this too because he's tanned up since he moved to California. He's gotten more tan. So now he's saying, beneath the tan, the battle rages. But there's a moment of self-reflection in that too. Beneath his own tan, there's a battle raging. It's not just an actual physical battle, it's a mental battle. It's an intellectual battle. It's a spiritual battle for the soul of the artist and of the art. Joe's realizing throughout the course of the show that he's always sold himself off for what the scripts are saying, for what the studios are saying, for what, it has to end like this. It has to have this ending. It has to have this beginning. And he's realizing he's lost the art of it. And when you lose the art of what you're doing as an artist, you begin to lose yourself as an artist. So he's really starting to grapple with all this. And this is only the second verse. And this is the challenge as an actor. You have to keep building somewhere. Oh, sorry, Jem, I missed your comment there. There's a semblance of control, but when you realize you aren't in control, you wonder how long it's been that people have been using you. How long have you been fooling yourself? Yes. And I think Joe starts to get a little bit paranoid. Who's using him? Is Betty, the woman he's falling in love with, using him? Was Artie using him this whole time? Sheldrake in the studios, were they using him? Was Paramount using him? Everyone has been using him because that's what people in the industry do. We use each other, and it's not inherently bad, but he's starting to realize he's been mistreating everyone. And so there's this great deal of self-reflection as a result. Beneath the tan, the battle rages. So what does that battle look like? It's not with swords. What do you do in this battle? Keeping on with the lyrics, you smile a rented smile. I love that line. I love that line. Because you turn towards someone and it's, oh hey, it's a rented smile. The cameras are on, the people are looking. Smile a rented smile. And Andrew Lloyd Webber has written a musical or two and knows what he's doing. And so he gives this wonderful, flippant melody. Smile a rented smile, fill someone's glass. It's very flowy. So he says, smile a rented smile, fill someone's glass. Kiss someone's wife, right? Because you're kissing someone's wife on the cheek, presumably at the red carpet. And I won't spoil anything else. Fill someone's wife, smile a rented smile, fill someone's glass, kiss someone's wife, kiss someone's ass is the next line. So we're connecting the idea of kiss someone's wife with kiss someone's ass. Oh, it's so nice to see you. And even the idea of doing that is kissing someone's ass. Sorry for swearing, I don't normally swear, but it's in the lyrics. So it's this flippant melody with it. Smile a rented smile. You're faking it. You're faking it because you have to. Smile a rented smile, fill someone's glass, kiss someone's wife, kiss someone's ass. We do whatever pays the wages. So why are you smiling like that? Why are you smiling to the person? Why are you filling their glass? Why are you greeting their wife? Why are you sucking up to them? Because you have to pay the wages. You have to pay the bills. And that's hard as an artist, and you begin to lose sight of your morality, of your ethics, of what you're trying to do as an artist. So we have to get, I don't think rage here, I think it's too soon to get big in the song, but we have to get, this is I think where the cynicism comes in. Smile a rented smile, fill someone's glass, kiss someone's wife, kiss someone's ass, we do whatever pays the wages. And then we go back into the chorus. Sunset Boulevard. Now every time we change, which is a tough thing, so this is where we get into the memory here, of the sense memory and pictures. I use a lot of pictures. So if I'm seeing this, I'm seeing, kissing someone's wife on the cheek, I'm doing whatever it takes to pay the wages. What am I trying? I always felt the sardonic lean into that part. Me too. I think it's good to go with your gut as an actor. Trust your instinct. That's a great word too, sardonic. Great word. Major points to you, right? So we do whatever pays the wages. Well, who are we doing this for? Who are the people that we're sucking up to? Who are the people paying our wages? Sunset Boulevard, Headline Boulevard. The people in the headlines. They're the ones with power. Sunset Boulevard, Headline Boulevard. You think being in LA was enough? You think being in Hollywood was enough? Getting here is only the beginning. Sunset Boulevard, Headline Boulevard. Getting here is only the beginning. That's only the first step. Getting there is only the first step. You haven't even started the war yet. Sunset Boulevard, Jackpot Boulevard. Now this is important because he's in the house of someone that's hyper wealthy, that's had so much success. Sunset Boulevard, Jackpot Boulevard. The jackpot obviously gives you a lot of money, but what else is it? It's entirely based on luck. It's completely based on luck. Now you might have more opportunities than somebody else because you bought more tickets or whatever, but winning the jackpot is entirely luck. So it's Sunset Boulevard, Headline Boulevard. Getting here is only the beginning. What comes after that? Sunset Boulevard, Jackpot Boulevard. And with the jackpot, treat it as an addiction. Once you've won, you have to go on winning. And I think this is where we start to see anger start building in. Once you've won, you have to go on winning. Now we get a change in rhythm. We don't get this melody that we're used to. He says, you think I've sold out. Now, is he talking to someone? Yes, to an extent, he's talking to the audience. Joe's the narrator of the show. He breaks the fourth wall so he can talk to the audience. But who's he really talking to? Is it Betty, the woman that he's falling for? Is it Artie, his best friend in the industry? Is it Sheldrake, the producer that won't hire him? Is it his parents? Is it his family? Is it Norma, the woman that's in love with him, that he feels simultaneously trapped and enchanted by? I think a yes to all of that, but it's all projection. I think he feels to himself, you think I've sold out. Why do I feel that way? Because the next line is, dead right, I've sold out. And that, I think, is heartbreaking. You think I've sold out, dead right, I've sold out. Now we're about a third of the way through the song if you're following on the lyrics. So if you're new, you can Google Sunset Boulevard lyrics and follow along with where we're going here. But you think I've sold out, dead right, I've sold out. I've just been waiting for the right offer. So it's not about art anymore. I've just been waiting for the right offer. What's the right offer? Comfortable quarters, which draws us back to this idea of he used to be in a one-room hell, a Murphy bed with a rancid smell, wallpaper was peeling in the corner. He just wants comfortable quarters, regular rations. Again, we're talking about this idea of a battle, of a war. It's not just regular food, regular meals, it's regular rations, right? Regular rations, 24-hour, 5-star room service. So there's a juxtaposition of he keeps upping the ante. I want comfortable quarters, regular rations, 24-hour, 5-star room service. And there's interesting rhythms here. And again, feel free to pop in with comments if you have ideas or something that you want to bring into it. But the rhythm goes, you think I've sold out, dead right, I've sold out. I've just been waiting for the right offer, comfortable quarters, regular rations, 24-hour, 5-star room service. There's not a lot of moment to catch a breath in there, is there? Which, as a technical challenge, exists for the actor, but it's important for the character. There's a bit of panic in this. 24-hour, 5-star room service, that his standards have changed, and he's noticing that, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like that that's happened to himself. Now we have a 3/8 bar, so we've been in a different time signature here. Now we're going da-da-da. The music does that. This is a real moment of self-reflection. Why is he still here? Why is he still in this house? Why is he sitting by this pool? He should have left. He tried to leave. Why is he here? And if I'm honest, that's the next thing he says. And if I'm honest, I like the lady. I can't help being touched by her folly, by her flaws, by her mistakes, by her misconceptions. I'm touched by them. Why? Because ultimately they're mine too. He sees himself in that. Oh, Jim has a comment. The words quarters and rations made you think military. Absolutely. He's a soldier fighting a battle against others and, I think most importantly, himself. You can't stop the war because you've won one battle. You have to keep on going. Absolutely. That's exactly what's happening here. So why should he keep on going? What's the justification? Well, if he's honest, and if I'm honest, I like the lady. I can't help being touched by her folly. Now you hear how that music's going up. And if I'm honest, I like the lady. I can't help being... There's a drama there. There's an intensity that comes up. There's a bit of panic that starts rising. Touched by her folly, I'm treading water. So there's a big jump here. Touched by her folly, I'm treading water. And there's not time to take a breath there. So it's got to be fluid. And for me, that translates to evoking a yell. He doesn't yell, but I think he evokes a yell. Touched by her folly, I'm treading water, taking the money. Well, this is a moment of rare honesty for him. What's he also doing? He's taking her money. He's there because she's rich. And he's taking the opportunities she presents. Taking her money, watching her sunset. That's a beautiful image of being with this woman who's lost and ultimately alone, and he's there for her. And I think that that's true. There's a juxtaposition here. He's treading water, which couples with the idea of a sunset on Sunset Boulevard by the ocean, watching the sunset, right? There's water there, but I'm treading water. I'm hovering in spot. I'm taking her money, watching her sunset. I'm trying to give her peace. That's part of what he's doing. He's not just an out-and-out crook. He's not a con man. He's not a jerk. He legitimately cares for this woman. taking her money, watching her sunset. And then we have a couple of beats here in the 5/8 measure. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's a nice, in the music it goes boom, 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 boom. So I think again, we have a nice moment of consideration, and he realizes he's really kind of been dramatic just now. he's being over dramatic. So watching her sunset, well, I'm a writer. Right? Well, I'm a writer. You know? That's why it's so dramatic and poetic in the whole description. Well, I'm a writer. And where am I a writer? Where did I come to be a writer? LA. And now we go back to the familiar. Now we go back to making a lot of excuses for ourselves with LA's changed a lot over the years since those brave gold rush pioneers. This is an important idea. Gold rush. The gold rush. San Francisco 49ers are named after them. LA's changed a lot over the years since those brave gold rush pioneers came in their creaky covered wagons. Is he actually talking about the gold rush? No. He's talking about the film industry. Ever since the pioneers of the film industry came to find this gold, to create film, to create cinema, to create pictures, to create script structure and story structure, character development, to follow Aristotle's Poetics thousands of years later in a new world of filmmaking. These are the pioneers. And it's the gold rush because everybody came looking for gold, but you'd find fool's gold far more often. Actually finding gold, that was rare. And that's what the industry is. You find fool's gold. Since those brave gold rush pioneers came in their creaky covered wagons. Creaky covered wagons is important because who's he talking about? Norma. The movies she was in were the creaky covered wagons. Yes, Jem, we love alliteration. Came in their creaky covered wagons. It's wonderful rhythmically for me to be able to sing it. LA's changed a lot. You have LA, lot. LA's changed a lot. You even have A and changed. You have the same vowel there. LA's changed a lot over the years since those brave gold rush pioneers, pioneers, came in their creaky covered wagons. Now I don't sing it quite like that. That's overdoing it, but came in their creaky covered wagons. And the creaky covered wagons. It makes for a really nice moment to go wagons, right? Where did they go? Where did they go? Far as they could go. End of the line. They went until there was no line anymore. Right? Until the journey stopped. Their dreams were yours. Now I think he's talking to everybody, every dreamer, everyone that ever wanted to make it in the industry. Their dreams are yours, their dreams were mine. But what were in those dreams? Hidden dragons. Now, of course, there's a lot of that imagery in that area. And so you have this idea of, but in those dreams were hidden dragons. Out of the smoke rises a dragon. Again, I use a lot of mental imagery. So I use this to remember the next chorus. Because now we start to get into the issue of, the chorus starts with Sunset Boulevard every time. So how do I remember that? We're hidden dragons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sunset Boulevard. What do dragons go into? Into a frenzy. So I have this idea of an angry dragon. Sunset Boulevard, frenzied boulevard. Where does this dragon live in my head when I picture it? It's really angry and it lives in a swamp. Sunset Boulevard, frenzied boulevard, swamped with every kind of false emotion. This idea of a frenzy and false emotion. What is acting when you get caught acting versus just being? It's false emotion. So now he's calling out all the fakers in the industry. Smog, exactly. Not the Lonely Mountain, no, because it wouldn't work as well to go Sunset Boulevard, frenzied boulevard, in a mountain with every kind of false emotion. Just doesn't. It's not as lyrical. So false emotion, Sunset Boulevard. What are dragons? Brutal. What is the industry? Brutal. Where does the swamp eventually drain out to? The ocean. Brutal boulevard, just like you, will wind up in the ocean. And what's always being said about California is that someday it's going to end up in the ocean because there's going to be an earthquake and it's going to break off, right? LA is going to end up sinking in the ocean, especially Sunset Boulevard. So just like you will wind up in the ocean with this idea of drowning in an ocean, right? So just like you will wind up in the ocean. Now we have a key change. Just like you will wind up in the ocean. Da, 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 da. She was sinking fast. We go up. Now he's talking about Norma again. At this point, I look at the pool next to me. She was sinking fast. We have this idea of an ocean. Sunset Boulevard falling in an ocean. Who represents Sunset Boulevard? The pinnacle. Norma. So who are we talking about now? Norma. She was sinking fast. Just mentally. She wasn't doing well. What does Joe do? I threw a rope. I read her script. I helped her out. I was there for her. Now I have suits. Look what she's given me. I have suits. I have a pool. I have a house. I have opportunities. Now I have suits, and she has hope. Joe's gotten materials, but he's given her hope, and that's why he can't leave, because he's given her hope. And what are we swamped with? False emotion. Now he's worried, have I given her false hope? And he answers that. It seemed an elegant solution. It seemed good. It seemed like I could help her, she could help me, and then we could part ways, but that's not what happened. So it seemed an elegant solution. Now he has to say this out loud. He has to tell this to himself. One day this must end. It isn't real. To Joe, it's not real, and he knows it's not real. And he's arguing with himself because it is real. And he knows it's real. And he knows that he loves this woman. Now, in love and love are different. Is he in love with her, or does he just love her? They're both very powerful things. But I think he struggles to make that distinction. He doesn't know what that distinction is. Right? So before tomorrow's execution. It's a very dark idea. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped ahead, didn't I? So it seemed an elegant solution. One day this must end, it isn't real. Again, we get very flowy here. It's very elegant. He's trying to do the noble thing and say, yeah, I have to end this at some point. It isn't real. And then again, he comes back to using. Still, I'll enjoy a hearty meal. I'll get my fill. I'll take what I want out of it. And this is his flaw. He doesn't know when to end things. He doesn't know when to walk away. He struggles to see that his life is not a movie. And movies have happy endings. In movies, everything works out. And in movies, the character would keep going. So I'll enjoy a hearty meal before tomorrow's execution. Coupling that with, it seemed an elegant solution before tomorrow's execution. Right? An elegant solution. Now, what is tomorrow's execution? Sunset Boulevard, Ruthless Boulevard. Is he talking about the execution? Or is he talking about the fact that it isn't real and he has to leave and he knows that, but he's still going to use her? Both. Sunset Boulevard, Ruthless Boulevard, a destination for the stony-hearted. Before he said getting here is only the beginning. That's where the headlines are. That's where the jackpot is. That's where the money is. It's a destination for the stony-hearted, for the people that don't feel anything, because you can't get here by chasing art. You can only get here by selling yourself out. That's the conclusion he's drawn. And that's really hopeless for him as a character, considering where he was at the beginning of the show. He's really fallen with his art. Sunset Boulevard, Ruthless Boulevard, destination for the stony-hearted. Sunset Boulevard, Lethal Boulevard. Without his art, he's dead. He's nothing. He's lost everything. It doesn't matter. That man... That was a good laugh. Dang, that man needs an iced coffee. Yes, he does. That should be the next scene in the show. Oh, that's so funny. I'm sorry. I love coffee. For the stony-hearted, Sunset Boulevard, Lethal Boulevard. Now again, getting back to destination for the stony-hearted. Getting here is only the beginning. Sunset Boulevard, Lethal Boulevard. Lethal is the end. It's tomorrow's execution. It's death. His next line is, everyone's forgotten how they started. So at the moment of death, everyone forgets where they came from. I'm dying here because everyone that's made it, everyone in power, all the decision makers, the movers, the shakers, have forgotten where they came from. Everyone's forgotten where they started here on Sunset Boulevard. And that's how the song ends. And I think it's important then to play into that physically, and not to overplay, but frustration. In fact, mild panic starts building. And then he regains control. She was sinking fast. No, I'm good. I was doing the right thing. This whole thing, you start building. You start adding things. Frenzied Boulevard, swamped with every kind of false emotion. You become the dragon. You feel the dragon. I'm seeing the dragon in my head as I'm singing it, because that's how I memorize things. But then I break out of it. And as I'm trying to come down, she was sinking fast. I threw a rope. I'm good. I'm fine, I did the right thing. Now I have suits and she has hope. It seemed an elegant solution. I tried to do the right thing. Of course, one day this must end, it isn't real. He's telling himself that. I have to end this at some point. I can't sit by this pool forever. Still I'll enjoy a hearty meal before tomorrow's execution. And I think this idea of tomorrow's execution is where he really breaks. I think that's where the anger really bursts forth. Because who's he talking about? Sure, it's pointed at all the people on Sunset Boulevard, the people that let Norma down, the people that let him down. But who's really being ruthless here? Him. He's going to keep building up this relationship, only to break it. He knows it's going to end. Like you hear this all the time. You see this in TV shows, everything like that, and you can see it in any high school in the country. People that are dating someone and know it's not going to work out, break up with them. Like, what are you doing? You're leading them on. You're wasting time. You're wasting emotion. You're only hurting them. It's so toxic. And he recognizes that in himself. He recognizes that what the industry is doing to him, he is doing to Norma. And there's a petty sort of revenge that he justifies it with. Before tomorrow's execution, Sunset Boulevard. And that's where he really, he's getting big. I'm not going to do it now because there are neighbors here, but you have to come see the show. But never mind, you have this idea, yes, Gem, frustration, mild panic, hopelessness, a bit of depression, anger, and self-loathing. But you can't do that as an actor. You can't pass self-judgment. There's also resolve. That I am going to break out of this. I will do the right thing in the end. There's got to be hope. Why? Because I, unlike everyone else, I remember where I started. I remember the kid from Dayton, Ohio. I came out here for a reason, and I'm going to do it. That's what he has to tell himself. So, that's that. That's the textual analysis of the song. I hope you enjoyed. I try to do that for all the songs, even the ones that I cover. Really dig into the emotions and why they're saying what they say. What the wonderful music is telling you. You know, if it goes to piano for a reason, if Andrew Lloyd Webber wrote, oh, do a decrescendo here, so instead of singing like this, all of a sudden I start pulling back. Why? Because he probably had a reason. He's Andrew Lloyd Webber. So you combine all of those things to build your character. But at the core of it has to be the character. Where have they come from? He hates that one-room hell, that Murphy bed, that rancid smell. He refuses to go back there. At this point, it's either success or Dayton. Because he's not going back to that apartment. And that's where the manipulation begins. And then he just gets in over his head. And that's where we end up here. So, I hope you all enjoyed 40 minutes of hanging out and talking music. There will be more reactions coming soon. I don't have time to tape any today. Hopefully I will be able to shoot some at the end of the week. I do have a Hua Chen Yu reaction coming out tomorrow. I'm hoping to get some more done this week, but again, we open, so we'll see if I have time. But please forgive me if I'm not able to. I know you're all very understanding. If nothing else, I should be able to tape some early next week, and then I don't know what it's going to look like the next couple weeks because I start filming almost immediately after this is over. Back on the East Coast. So you all are patient and understanding and wonderful like that. So I appreciate all of that about you. But that's all I got. So let's hang out soon. Let's talk soon. But I hope you enjoyed, those of you that were able to watch, and those of you that are watching in the future. I hope your day is going great. Please fix your posture, drink lots of water, and take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.